Far Cry Vengeance. The Wii, for all its perfect controls for a first-person shooter, hasn't had a good one yet. For some reason, they all try to overcomplicate the controls or dumb down the gameplay. When I look at a game like Far Cry Vengeance, I have to wonder what the developers were thinking. Do they really think we'd want to play a game that was based mostly in the jungle? The problem with first-person shooters in a jungle, or in Far Cry's circumstances, a tropical island, is that all the levels look the same. Plus, some levels are so badly designed, you can walk around in circles and not even know it. Let's start with the one positive I have with the game, and that's the controls. The controls are perfect, and I hope all first-person shooters on the Wii are controlled this easily. You use the B button to fire your primary weapon, and the Z button to fire your other gun if you're holding it. If you hold down the A button, you can keep the camera fixed, and you can strafe back and forth. This control scheme works great, and it's easy to use. Unfortunately, the enemies are about as challenging as drinking a cup of water. They have to have the worst aim I've ever seen. Let me show you a good example of this. I walked up to these three bad guys and didn't fight back. I just sat there to see how long it would take them to kill me. I once shot a guy who was dying slowly next to another henchman, and he didn't even notice it. It was embarrassing that they would ever release a game with this bad of AI. Not in this day and age. The graphics were bad. When you have nothing but a jungle scene, you better make sure that jungle looks spectacular, but it looked bland and boring. Even the caves that were thrown in to change up the action were boring to look at. You can go into a mode called Predator. The screen blurs and you start moving really fast. Great. It's easier to kill the already stupid AI villains. Even the cutscenes look bad. They were all blocky and looked like a PlayStation 1 game. Even the voice acting was terrible.
You picked up my name, Clever Monkey.
It was easy. I just acted like a punching bag.
You're cut off! Hey, you flicking nuts? That guy's a maniac.
You look like the kind of man who can handle himself.
You look like the kind of woman I'd like to handle.
Once in a while you can drive a vehicle. Well, you can try and drive it. You shouldn't even try and shoot someone when you're in your car, because you can easily lose control, since the controls to move the car move along with the gun sights. Far Cry Vengeance is a great example on how to use the Wiimote to make a first-person shooter. It's also a great example on how not to design a game. The boring repetitive gameplay, the awful AI enemies, and the ugly game visuals makes the game impossible for me to recommend, even at $19.99. You should skip this game.